Alright, I am going to try to commentate. I'm not used to talking to myself, but we'll make it work. And in this first round of this bracket of the 3v3, we have Haunted Dropship, led by the spooky Captain Ghosty, Demonic Screams, aka Dimos, Dread Hamster, aka Bly Hamster. So that's Joey, Draith, and Clone Sarge. And they're going to be playing on New Avalon. And they should be starting any moment now. And so, just looking at these lists, I see a lot of brawl in Haunted Dropship's list. I see up close and personal brawls. I see this LBX Raven, which can snipe, but I think it does quite good up close. I see this heavy large laser Uller. Again, has some range potential, but it's really going to hurt within 350. And I'm not too familiar with the Chimeras, but I know a cannon on that right arm when I see one. And small lasers, so... I think this is the exact same Raven that Draith is piloting. This is not the exact same Chimera. I'm not sure which one that is off the top of my head. And this Goblin has... You can really tell I'm not very good with knowing too many of the assets, especially the tanks, but I see 3 medium lasers and a missile launcher, and then Lamb. Both the mirror ravens trading into each other. I think I favor Dropship in this one, regardless of player. No comment on player skill, I should say. I think their list has a bit more cohesion. I think their list is a bit more focused. But like I said, I'm not entirely sure what this Goblin is. If these guys are being pretty aggressive. They're pretty confident. I like confidence and aggression. These 3v3s. Oh, it's a T-bolt launcher. That's an AC-10 Chimera, which does a lot of screen shake, but not a lot of damage. Ghosty is going in on Clone Sarge. They're all going in on Clone Sarge. They're focusing, so Dropship is trying to focus down Clone Sarge first. So J-Word really needs to do as much damage as they can now. Clone Sarge should try to survive as long as possible. Down. Bly Hamster is now missing his big, scary, heavy, large laser arm, but he's still dangerous up close like that. I think I would have just gone for the kill. It looks like J-Word can't figure out who to focus. They're switching targets between Bly and Ghosty. Oh, they got Bly. I think they should probably both focus Ghosty now, because he's weak. Okay, it's 1v1. Dimos versus Draith. I think the Chimera has the DPS advantage here, for sure. But I don't know how much they focus Draith. And there goes Draith, so Haunted Dropship wins round 1. Let's see how much health Dimos had left, how much armor he had left. He was pretty healthy. Yeah, that's 38 left torso is his lowest torso component. That's yeah, that's he probably could have taken a bit more than that. Yeah, so that is pretty decisive for Haunted Dropship. All right, we'll move on to the next round. All right, you guys get to pick out whatever's left.
All right. Committee, what is Glory?
It is a Solaris Arena map that it's got.
Isn't that the brown one?
Yes, it's very brown.
Yeah.
We played it yesterday. Yeah.
Yep. Ironically enough, me calling it the brown one.
Remind.
Well, I'm not gonna forgive them because the first thing I see is RIO Prime.
I think I mean, I like J-Word's list actually. I think it's pretty cool. Icy Hot, an Atlas, and I think
And that was, yeah, it's a Prime. Which you ask me demolishes any list that goes with the RIO Prime. This is a bit of an underbuy if you ask me.
yeah, and
At
so
least as far as the armor goes.
So I think we're gonna see. Unfortunately, we're gonna go really behind schedule because if Haunted wins, if J-Word wins, then they have to go 3.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think the RIO really adds value when you're on this map versus that list.
I forgot that you could get an Atlas for under 100. I think that's actually an excellent buy.
It's excellent if you can aim the MRMs, because it is MRM 60.
Yeah.
The signal burst of that onto anything is rather too much damage to go with when you're not able to repair.
Especially,
okay, I see what they're doing.
Especially big assaults that can't really dodge it too.
Okay, so actually they've got something, I don't know how to describe this. You have a pair of Atlases plus the RIO. The HPPC Atlas and the same MRM Atlas, so that's actually possibly saved this matchup for them, because if Deimos knows what he's doing, he can split the AC-10s, fire one at a time to lock down the Icy Hot, and then if he times it right, the MRM Atlas, he can hit the HPC onto him real quick just to fuck up his MRM burst.
Yeah. I think
and
if they
shut down a lot of their damage.
Yeah, I think if they really focus the Icy Hot really quickly, then this is going to be Haunted's game. Because the Icy Hot is going to go down to focus fire really quick.
Yeah, it's the all-in damage pick. If it does get focused, it will just simply melt.
Yeah.
And then you simply walk at the MRM Atlas. And then it can only get like 1 or 2 more shots in with the MRMs before getting minimum ranged.
Alright, it looks like we're go. I commentated the last one, so I'm going to commentate this one. You can say whatever you want as well. So we got Haunted Dropship versus... And J-Word has gone for the Icy Hot Warhawk, an Atlas, and an Avatar Prime with its X-Pulse medium.
So what I'm looking at right now is that RIO is going to get a free shot, possibly if he turns around and looks.
Oh, he sees them.
Okay, that looked a bit spread, but it's damage that wasn't replied.
And that was on the Icy Hot. And the Icy Hot, Clone is fucking up right now. He's failing his piloting checks. He's separated from the rest of them, but he is in the low ground, so the Rio can't hit him again.
Needs 3, rolled 2.
If I think they were right now, I would go down the hill and just completely disengage and re-engage else.
They only have 2 choices right now. They need to get involved immediately to save the Icy Hot, or they need to get their Icy Hot out of there, and the Icy Hot's getting thrown.
Yep. Alright. I think
User left
Joey
your
and Drath are trying to isolate Hamster, but Hamster's just going to go behind that rock and disappear, and then he's going to be able to 1v1 the Icy Hot. I think the Icy Hot at this point just go into the lake and use the water as coolant because you're so fucking hot. And just pick one of them and focus on. And they are not focusing damage very well.
Clone saw it was going to be going down here. Okay, Ghosty just got absolutely annihilated with the MRMs. He's probably very low.
If Clone had focused Ghosty, I think Ghosty might be dead by now. But
yeah, Ghosty is dead if he actually gets shot out here.
Drath is getting a lot of free damage. They got the arm off of Deimos, but I think that might be a bit of wasted damage on an Atlas, where you need to go through the CT because it's standard engine.
One thing I just noticed is Deimos tried to shoot the this thing Ghosty instead.
Down goes Clone Sarge. Down goes Joey, and it's all Drath, and he's going in. I think he wants the coolant of the water. There goes Hamster. Ghosty should be weak. Separate.
Gauge. Yeah. I don't know what the health on Deimos is, but Drath might be semi-fresh.
Alright, so it's just him and Ghosty. This could be the clutch. Come on, Drath, you can do it, baby.
Ghosty may have been thrown.
Ghosty's saving
I'm
his large
99%
lasers. Yeah, Ghosty's firing his mediums and larges separately to bait the torso twist. Oh, okay.
I
Haunted
need to see
wins.
how much health he has.
Yeah, I want to see that. That was a good fight. That looked like a bad fight, but it was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Oof, 11 CT. Yeah. If they had focused some damage on him, I mean, he probably, knowing Ghosty, he probably. Yeah, if they could have focused just a little bit more onto one of those torsos, they might have been able to get him. I think when Clone was in the... I would think I would have focused the Rio because he's the one that's going to go down fastest. He's a lot of damage, and he will go down much faster than an Atlas.
Yep. Yeah, I think the main issue there is once Clone falls into the water and separates, you just need to call the action to get in there and support him. Even if you're not actively engaged, you know for a fact you're going to be because you're right there next to him.
Yeah, I think if
Instead
they prioritized targets a little better, they probably would have won that one.
Yeah. I mean, Draith cleaned up the 2 Atlases.
Yeah.
And the Ryo is only 11 CT, so that's like T-Bolts and LBX would easily finish that, but...
Yeah. Alright, I gotta go report and get the next one going.
I'm the one who got the first blast on the Rio, but hopefully he was near dead.
Yeah, he had 11 CT left. That was very close. I think Bashar and I were commentating, and I'm recording it. We both think you guys could have won that if you had prioritized targets a little better, or had focused a little better. I think it was very, very close.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that messed us up is I fell off the hill.
I called it as soon as I saw it, and I said, Clone is failing his piloting check right now, and fucking Bashar goes, needs 3 rolls too.
Literally, I was like, let me just see around this hill for a second, and I fell off.
So, what have we got? We've got a Partisan. That looks like the Rack 2 party. The party van. That is definitely a Raven Alpha. I think this is Raccoon. I think this is Raccoon's paint scheme. Maybe? I don't recall. But that's 2 large pulse lasers and a tag. I don't know if they have much in the way of... Yeah, that tag's not going to play, I don't think. This is that Hellhound that has all the machine guns that look really cool in the cockpit. He's got PPC, a bunch of small lasers, probably ER smalls. Oh, they're HMGs. My mistake. I guess they do something. So those will actually be good up close. So this is a pretty mid-range list. This can work at mid to close range. Those HMGs are going to be good damage at close range. This Rack 2 party is going to absolutely shred at close range. Rack 2s are way, way, way more powerful than people give them credit for. The only reason they're not good at range is that... And then on the other team, we have the exact same Hellhound. Another Hellhound. This is the one with 3 heavy mediums and a bunch of ATMHGs or something. I can't recall what this has actually, but those are definitely 3 heavy medium lasers. And is that a Jesse James? So this is I believe this is the Light Gauss Hollander. That is extremely long range, and it looks like they're go. Alright, we're go at 35, it looks like, which is good. So this is Haunted Dropship. I'm not even going to guess who is who. Both teams are playing a game with each other of hiding who's who by all having identical names. Oh, I crashed. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, well, I can't ask them to hold for that. We're already behind schedule. So if I miss the action, I miss the action. That is heartbreaking. Okay, so I'm commentating this later because my commentary at the time, I just had some problems with OBS with my push-to-talk not being recognized. Anyway, so we come back to the crash, and Bashar's team is engaged, and we just barely missed the beginning of this fight. We really didn't miss much. The scores are very low. Everyone's still alive, and I'm looking around, and I see all of Bashar's team is hiding behind this crag here, and I'm looking for that Jesse James, and I don't see it, and then I spot it up here on the hill, and I say, okay, that's an okay spot for him, but Bashar's team is playing this crag, like, perfectly to turn this 3v3 into a 3v2, And in some cases, it's a 3v1 because there's only that one Hellhound that they're engaging. This one around the corner, he can only peek once in a while. So I think that Bashar's team must be shredding them in terms of damage because they just have had the better engagement. If I had been Haunted Dropship, I think I might have disengaged here almost completely. But I don't think Bashar's team would let them do that. But I just don't know what they can do. I think at this point they're already so far behind on damage. They're in a bad spot, and it's only a matter of time until Bashar's team knows that and pushes them. Because I mean, even in the open, under fire from a Jesse James, it doesn't hurt that bad. And yeah, and that's exactly what they decide to do. They decide to push, and that partisan is just going to absolutely shred. Yeah, and there goes one Hellhound, and the other one's around the crag. I didn't spot him at first. I'm like, oh, there he is, and he's going in for the brawl, and they are just going to tear him to pieces because, I mean, it's a Jesse James. It's got light Gauss and what, like 4 AC2? That is, I mean, the light Gauss hurts, but not as low, you know, relatively, quote, high DPH, damage per hit, but low DPS, whereas Bashar's team has all the damage per second. So all they have to do now is walk towards him, and they win. If I were him, I think I said at the time I would want to try to kite, and even that is a super long shot. Like, Bashar's team has to let you go, and even then, that Rack 2 party van can shoot you from pretty far away. He can do damage, and unbeknownst to me, this Jesse James, this Hollander, is pretty low already. He doesn't take much to go down. I think he dies right about here. There he goes. It was a good try, but I think their engagement, I think Bashar's team just had the better engagement. They used that terrain to excellent advantage, and the Jesse James just couldn't really get anything done until the brawl, which is not where the Jesse James wants to be. What kind of armor were you guys at? Were you guys all mostly I see that partisan speed up, but...
Well, I shot the partisan a bunch at the end there. I mean, I don't know, we have to check the stream.
That's fine.
None of us died. I was pretty close to death and had an open torso with like 15 CT.
Okay.
I did most of the damage tanking there, and then Rack plotting was able to just kind of sit back a little bit, just drill with the LPLs, and he only lost his left torso, and everything else was fresh.
Yeah, I crashed right before the beginning of that fight, but I started hiding behind that crag from the Hollander.
Yeah, I saw the Hollander first, just gave me your PPC at like 880 meters just for free damage, and that's when they realized where we were.
Right.
But by that point, it was a 3v2 at point blank, so I just had to focus on getting around the rock and hitting good PPC shots on them.
Alright, Haunted Dropship versus SyAN bonus situation, round 2, back on New Avalon. And from Haunted Dropship, we see that same AC-10 Chimera, the Screen Shake Assassin. Very annoying mech to fight, but relatively low DPS. And Chimeras, well, Chimeras have a bad reputation in the community for a reason. They have a big ol' right torso hitbox, and it's like a big bullseye of where to shoot. Even new players know exactly where to shoot this thing. We've got I believe this is the Raven B. It's a Raven a lot of people like as a starter. It's got an LBX 10, and I believe it's 3 ER smalls. Then it's also got lambs. And we've got, I believe this is an Uller or Kit Fox Prime with large laser. I think it's an LBX 5, SRMs, and some small lasers as backup damage. And over here on SyAN bonus situation, we see, oh, this is going to be terrible. I'm terrible at knowing the tanks. So we've got a Hephaestus. I think this thing has DSRM 6 or something, so that is quite a lot of DPS at close range. It's just really hard to get it because when you're in a hovercraft, you're shaking around a lot. You have no stabilization. I don't know what this guy is taking. That looks like it could be an Owens Delta, which has 2 SRM6, I believe, and then small lasers. That is a very, for this buy bracket, this is a very tanky mech, and pretty good damage as well. Just limited in torso rotation. And from here on in this fight, I'm going to be commentating after the fact because the rest of my track at the time is just unintelligible. So this is a Black Sunshine that Blood Raven's in, and I hate the Black Sunshine, and I softly argued for Duels to ban it from this tournament because of how much of a terror it's been in a previous 3v3. It's a huge underbuy for this bracket, and they still took it. Partially that's because I know Raven likes it, but also because it is quite good, high DPS. And decent armor, Mithrases are harder to take out than they seem to be on paper. And so my take on these lists up here at this close range part of New Avalon is I much favor SyAN bonus situation. Their list is just all close range brawl. I know exactly what they're doing, whereas Haunted Dropship has taken a lot of mid-range options, which is fine, but then they've come up to the north here, and this terrain almost necessitates a close range brawl. Like, medium range brawls collapse into close range brawls really fast unless there's terrain to stop them, and so they get a first shot onto the Owens. But the Owens is a big tank. He is hard to hit, he's hard to kill even when he's not moving, so it's not going to do much in the long term. And all I think SyAN bonus situation has to do is push, and they will have the better part of this fight. It doesn't mean they're guaranteed to win. Haunted Dropship has LBXs, so they can do some good anti-tank work, and if I were them, I would focus the Hephaestus because of its high DPS, and it's also, in my opinion, the squishiest thing there. I think on paper the Mithras is maybe more fragile, but I think in practice the Hephaestus is much easier to kill. And so there they go. Here comes SyAN bonus situation coming and distracting with the Owens. The Owens is a big tank, and he goes off to the side and is not committing. He's just screening, and here come the tanks. And right away, Dropship doesn't seem to be focusing. They're just splitting up, whereas bonus situation is going all in on that Uller may take his arm out. And he's about to, he goes down right away. He was taking way too much fire. And it's right about up here that I realize that something pretty unfortunate has happened, which is Ghosty in the Chimera has crashed right here. I notice it, and that's just terrible. So this is a 3v1 for SyAN bonus situation onto the remaining Raven of Haunted Dropship, and the Raven just can't win the 3v1. The only thing he could maybe do is take out the Hephaestus, but he doesn't have the armor to do it, so he goes down. And they do have to finish the Chimera in order to win, because if they didn't, Ghost could come back and get into it by the tournament rules, I believe. And unfortunately the rules, well, not unfortunately, there's good reason for this. The rules say if you crash before contact, then you can hold and wait for the guy to come back. But he crashed basically right after close combat was joined, so the rules say you have to play on. It's really unfortunate, but that's the way it is. And for this match, I don't think that Chimera would have swung it. Maybe they would have gotten the Hephaestus. I'm going to look at the armor here, and I remember the Hephaestus is pretty beat up. The Mithras is missing a side, but the Owens is fresh, and I think that Owens could have soloed. In his current state, could have soloed that Chimera, so I don't really believe that Chimera would have turned the tide, but, you know, anything can happen. I think Ghosty was their team leader, so maybe the loss of him as the commander hurt. I knew he was doing a lot of list building with them. I don't know if he was drop commanding. But for the Hephaestus, I don't agree with taking out the front of the Hephaestus. I heavily favor going after the sides in the Hephaestus, even if you have to go through one and then the other. And they did try to go through the side on the Mithras, but this ran out of time and armor and DPS, and that's unfortunate. I do think it was correct to focus the tanks, because they had a bunch of anti-tank weaponry on their team, but they just could not pull it off, and then Ghosty crashed, and that's unfortunate, but that's the way it is, and we have to move on. And already we got another round. We've got another match. This is going to be Haunted Dropship versus, I'm getting a lot of Haunted Dropship, but Haunted Dropship versus mostly Heartless. So Haunted Dropship, we got Dimos, Ghosty, and a Hamster. again, and their list is that same AC-10 Chimera. We got buy list 2 again. I think it's going to be the most common one, or has been the most common one this tournament so far. So we see this thing a bunch. We see this Raven a bunch. It's the same Raven and Chimera they've been taking in this bio bracket, which is not bad. I like the Raven. I'm not sure I like the Chimera. I really don't like the AC-10 very much. It's got screen shake, but if they don't have an asset that is vulnerable to screen shake, it's not going to matter that much. I think it'll be best if you can stay at like skirmishing range, but if they charge you, there's not much you can do. What I do like though is their, I believe it's an Uller C, that hamster is in this thing out. Look at that. Oh, there I go. So that Uller C has 4 mediums and 2 smalls, and I think it has mask too, so it's really hard to kill at the bracket. Is an excellent. And oh man, look at that animation. Look at that boy. He's moving. We got Kamon, the new guy. Oh my god, I'm stuck on the. There we go. We got Philex, and he's in the Goblin we've seen before from. Who was that? That was Jayward that had this. This is a T-Bolt and I believe medium pulse laser Goblin. The Puma has ERPPC, and I've forgotten what else. What is that, UAC 2? I can't recall, or UAC 5. And Silvercraft in the heavy large laser Uller Kit Fox. Puma or Adder, I can't recall what guns those are. I'm struggling with my spectator cam right now. And let's see, so there. Camo. These guys blend in a bit more with their mountain camo. There is no way they don't. Opens up. Yeah, those UAC 2s on that Adder. And it is on, and Haunted is coming in. They want to brawl. It looks like Heartless wanted to trade at distance a little bit, but Haunted is not playing their way. But Heartless seems pretty good. Silvercraft and Kamon are getting angled on each other. Now Philex is getting. He's getting 3v1'd over here. These two over here. Silver's lost an arm already. He lost his heavy large laser arm. His big trying hard to finish Ghosty. Ghosty must be weak, but I think Kamon's taken way too much damage here. I think this brawl has kind of swung in favor of Haunted. But they're getting free his back. Still his biggest damage dealer. I guess the question is can he kill Ghosty before he goes down? He can, so did not get completely shut out. I don't know what the state of anybody else. I'd be shocked that Owens is not almost completely fresh. I feel like he didn't take any damage. And down goes Silver. So that's round 1 to Haunted. And let's go see how damaged they are. I bet you
User
that
joined your
Owens
channel.
is nearly fresh.
What server are you in?
I'm in Arena 1. And
Okay,
yes, both the Chimera and the Owens are basically fresh. The Owens took some damage to the arm. That's about
If
it.
you join the other server on Carbon, you can wait like 20 minutes and then maybe they'll find each other.
Are they just dancing around each other or something?
It's Fats,
Oh
Archangels.
God. Fats on Carbon. I almost
Yeah,
told. I almost forced Duelan to remove Carbon from the list. I see it happening. I see a match going like to time limit on Carbon.
It's gonna happen, I think, because it's 2 Archangels and a Sunder versus a Mars, a Blast, and an Atlas, and they're literally just circling opposite sides.
Shrek and Orion
They
and
have-
Morgu.
The Morgu, I'm gonna do a Mickey assumption, is probably
It's Rex on it.
a UAC 10, 5s rather.
Oh, it's got rack 5s on it? Oh yeah, it's got 2 rack 5s. Yeah,
Oh, you're talking about the Orion.
Yeah, the Orion, sorry. What are you talking
That's a heavy PPC. I thought you were talking about the Morgu.
I see, so...
Like, or why?
Okay. Yeah, it's probably UX. I don't see any lasers or anything. And the Shrek is 2... What is that? Large Pulse and then Can.
That's the LBX-10, yeah, with the LXPLs.
Okay, so... This is a pretty beefy tank list. I guess it's not... Yeah, these are not too hot. I guess the Shrek is going to be the hottest.
That's an Argus Prime with the Gauss and lasers with No, that's a Gauss list.
That Argus Prime is hot even with just the Gauss and the lasers because it has no heat sinks.
Yeah, it's gonna overheat,
it's-
and they're worried about the heat, but they didn't realize that Argus does run hot.
Yeah. I guess like you don't think about it, but when you have no heat sinks, even those lasers will cook you. The lasers and the SRMs will cook you.
Yep.
Like that happened to Dead Salmon in a CJF match between me, Prox Kids, and I think it was Salmon, Eve, and Liko, and it came down to me and an Argus Golf with both my arms stripped, and Salmon, and it was kind of even. He stripped my last arm, and he had a torso out, and I was pretty sure I could beat him, but before I even got the chance, with his last shot, he alpha'd me with like the 4 lasers in his Gauss, and then he cooked himself and exploded.
Very nice.
If he had just touched his C key, that would have been a real fight.
Well, if they're gonna stick with the Gauss list, I think their only viable play is probably taking out the triangle missile torso on the Orion with the Gauss rifles. You're not gonna have any luck trying to use Gauss rifles on tanks. That's just where they absolutely suck.
I really don't like this. I think Haunted may have just won this in the asset
List
picking
building,
stage.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is.
I mean,
We'll see, but it also because no, I guess Ghosty's got those lasers. I was gonna say on
Yeah.
this map, like you can't really see them through much because they have a lot of ballistic weaponry without like glowy neon bits on their mechs.
Mhm.
So you can't even get those Gausses at long range, even if you could see them. And it looks like they're go now because yeah, Haunted's moving out.
Yep, they're on. Yeah, I'm gonna stick by my assumption here that the best play is deleting the Orion as fast as possible at the HPPC because those dual rack 5s will add up. And then, now think about it, this is almost certainly the LBX and HEATM Morgu.
That would make
Which-
a lot of sense.
It would make a lot of sense, and it would also demolish just about anything it comes across, and you just don't have an answer for it with this Gauss base list. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, you can definitely play games with the Morgu speed, but I'll be honest, I don't know if they have the discipline and cohesion to pull it off.
Yeah, because unfortunately Kamon is new, like brand new. He's only been playing for
Yeah.
like 2 weeks. Phylix is rusty, and Silver is okay, but I don't think you know, his skills are not in brawling.
No, he's gonna be out of his comfort zone here. High heat, mid, close range.
I know I probably went Ghost because they're scared of the heat.
Yeah,
But-
that's exactly what it is. But yeah, the Argus doesn't play to that.
Yeah, I just think it's the wrong choice. Yeah, also, yeah, the Argus,
Oh,
unbeknownst to them.
and then Phylix, the Orion, has a pair of PPCs on that. So, and I don't know how many heat sinks he has. He may find himself with 1 PPC every now and then while he just uses the Gauss and the, I believe those are light AC2s.
Is Phylix walking full speed? He seems slow even for an Orion. No, he's
well,
not.
Some of them are
No,
64.
he's not. He just hit his.
Okay. Yeah, right now their spacing is gonna result in Silvercraft bumping into something. I mean, I don't think they're nearby, but
Into like a long rail from them or something. Meat, I think. I random rolled this map, and I think Haunted Dropship really did not want this map. All day, when they've had strikes, they strike this map first. Monster despises this map because they were laughing when both teams were going to roll and we got Forsaken. Ghosty started laughing and said, "Oh, Hamster, it's your favorite," and I think he.
yeah, I don't know about that. I do know in previous years they've had decent success here. I think they might have lost to, I think it was a CSF team once as a bit of a surprise upset. Actually, no, that was CSF doing the upset on SJ on New Avalon.
Yes.
Yeah, that one I think somebody went crit inside the whole formation.
I remember I played the Rushwhacker and we lost. That's all I really recall on our.
Yes. Yeah, somebody died on I think SJ's and went crit right in the midst of everything. I mean, they were able to play off the damage, but regardless, I think WR, despite their feelings on this map, tend to be successful with it. No.
Okay, fuck it. Let's find them.
I mean, if they cut to mid right now, I like this kind of terrain for the Gauss rifles, but they're not going to be able to exploit it. If they get closer to main now, there's a lot.
Yeah, where a lot of fights happen between that one.
You know, now the issue is it's a lot more dense with the bigger formations of rock. So if WR figures out what's going on, they could definitely close in and not let the free Gauss damage stack up.
Yeah. Going right to the base. At that base, so I wonder if they saw something. Like Hamster is staring almost at that left now. They don't know where they are.
You theoretically had line of sight for about 4 or 5 seconds there as they were crossing, but they just weren't.
Yeah, they're heading towards the other base. So yeah, they're not aware.
No, nobody knows.
Here, I think I'm talking about what is my favorite strategy on Forsaken in the 3v3 format, which I actually like this map for 3v3 because I like close range fights. Yep, Gekkum, keep radars off, see if you can spot a laser or a PPC through the smog, and just try to rush up and point blank brawl before the other team knows what's going on.
So right now, I think what needs to happen, if you're gonna do an outside walk around the edge, I think you do a half walk around the map and then cut to mid.
Mid.
Yeah, they're going back to mid, and
Which I
there's
do
a
like.
possibility of engagement here, depending on the exact direction of movement that Silvercraft takes his team. I'm going to assume by the forward positioning that Silvercraft is the one calling the shots right now.
I was in them when they were. I was in their group when they were list building a little bit. It seemed kind of the case.
Okay, this is.
He seemed the most
engagement.
confident. Oh yeah, they're looking right at each other. Hopefully, Silver can see something. No, he doesn't.
Dymo. Now they've got to be spotted, if not by visual on radar, pretty shortly.
Yeah, if they don't see each other, they're about to. Oh yeah, Dimos must see them.
This is the engagement that WR wanted, so this is pretty much game.
Silver is just not in this fight.
Yeah, at this point, they've just revealed that they're Gauss and PPCs. So,
Yeah, if I were Heartless, I think I would run if I were Heartless, but they're not running very well.
Keeman's trying. Nope, they're going. So the more you corner peek, the more you're playing into this Heartless list.
Yeah, they're playing into list.
Yeah, they have the DPS and the stair assets, so they just need to walk.
And they see the vultures. So...
Yeah. Yeah, they know at least one of them is
like
a miss.
I think Hamster's taking.
Yeah, he took some shots at the beginning. There was a PPC hit on the rock behind, which may have splashed him. Okay, so now they're rotating around for the push-up.
I think that might have been decent, because on my end, I think he hit him. But I might be... Oh,
Keeman lost the torso. Yeah, see, now they recognize that they just have to go and Fireless is going to meet the Moriel by himself.
Yeah.
And WR is not playing quite as aggressive as I would like them to. I don't think it means anything but their damage. If executed, that's wise.
I think the only question here is can they kill Hamster before it's over?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a consolation prize. They don't get.
They get
There you go. But the tanks were essentially damaged. I mean, no, his back's out.
Yeah, he
So,
can't escape.
I was gonna say, this was their opening to do the kite, which they're trying to do.
Say the same thing, and then I saw his as well.
Yeah,
Bro,
he's
he
been
might just
left for
pop.
dead. You
Oh,
get
he
around.
made it.
I don't know how damaged Silvercraft is. I know he took some shots, but
Got down. I just prayed there.
see, the thing is, I think by now you're on active if you're the tanks, so
Oh,
you're
yeah,
gonna see
you're
him do that.
Too. And that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they could have had a cleaner matchup if they just, after the first volley of Gauss rifles, realized, okay, it's all Gauss rifles, just go in.
Oh yeah, that would have been a much cleaner engagement. I think Hamster peaked a little too much, took a little too much
Yeah,
damage.
they
I mean,
did the corner peek they weren't supposed to.
but they played this. They played the strategy, maybe not the tactics, but the strategy. They knew they were gonna.
Oh,
But-
we don't mind. I mean, we're just
Yeah,
here for the funds.
Yeah.
How is
we're
how
winning.
is
We're
that
all
Argus?
winners.
How is that Argus silver? Bashar and I were both saying that Argus is hot because it has no heat sinks.
No, it worked quite well.
Okay,
I had no problems.
all right. Why did you guys stack Gauss?
Yes, we tried mobile thing
All right.
Yeah,
and
we tried
failed
to
miserably.
Yeah, we tried to like stay more mobile, kind of poke from a distance, and then I crashed a ridge, and the whole team was just like
Yeah, they just
100
blew your
meters
torso
out.
open, yeah.
I'm sorry if the rolling system makes your job harder, but
It doesn't.
we
No,
just
I put the rolling system forward because I was tired of the strike system because nobody knew how it worked and duelists didn't know how it worked half the time. So I made the rolling system to make it faster, and it's been excellent. It's been working really fucking fast. So I think it's better for everyone to have that option. If you want to strike, you can, but if you don't want to deal with it, just like boom, go roll.
yes, please.
Supposedly I don't know why we're in game 4 because apparently the J Word lost the engagement. They got an extension to the time, and then they met and they fought and died.
I don't think
I'll
duelist
ask.
knows what's going on. What is this? Anyway, Jufos is apparently AFK. His other two teammates. And that looks like the UAC 20 Marauder to me. That Invictus is in. This Owens. I can't quite tell. Is that an Owens Echo? So, no one takes no one's Echo. No, it's not. I only took a brief look at what Jufos was in, but it looked kind of like the.
This is an AC-20 Hollander.
Yeah, the new AC-20 Hollander. And Draith in the large laser Raven. Clone Sarge in. Oh, it's the ERPPC and all the missiles Vulture.
User joined your channel.
And Joey in. What is that? Jesse James. That's a Gauss.
Yeah, it's Jesse James.
Yeah, that's Jesse James.
And they're engaged.
Of
Yeah.
fucking match. And Invictus needs to close the distance here. He has a max range of 500, but he really gets scary within 350. Same with Juf. So this actually. Oh no, he.
Yeah,
Get
this is
shredded.
a bit of a misplay.
I would get out of there if I was mad. I would turn left now and try to. They're just committing. Fair enough. Well, he's a. Clone
Yeah.
Sarge is going off.
Well, Joey's separated, but he is. This is a very awkward engagement.
This is a very chaotic engagement. They
That's
spent.
lagged.
Yeah, they spent all that time on Matt, and now they're not finishing. And like, I would just leg it if his leg is out at this point, like, because he's still getting
take
damage.
a shot at him.
Yeah, Jufo's missing his arm. He's probably. Oh no, his AC.
Phone just died.
Yeah, I just pouring.
Just let him.
Free damage on him for no reason.
Yeah, Joey could have finished his leg off a couple minutes ago.
I'm not sure what that was about, but okay.
But going for the leg on the Owens is like I guess the correct thing to do if he's too fast and you're not great at focusing. You can just say, just fucking leg him, because the legs are big and fat and easy to hit. Much easier to hit than the torso half the time.
I think that's usually what ends up happening is people the leg without even trying because it's always in the way.
It's so prominent on the thing. You could be aiming for like the arm or the side torso, and if you miss, you hit the leg. Because I think if you hit the hips, it aliases into the legs. And look at that gigantic hip component on the Owens. It's bigger than
Yeah,
the top
that is leg. That is leg hitbox, that round hip piece.
I'm gonna go see what their I don't know if I can. Yeah, I can. All right, I'm gonna
User joined your channel.
All right. It's while I'd love to watch it for the stream, it's probably best that you handle match 11 and I'll handle match 12.
Okay. That is
So we're playing Krispies.
SyAN
Yeah.
versus Krispy. Okay. And we've got our match, which is going to be SyAN bonus situation versus Krispy Kreme UrbanMechs. And it looks like for SyAN we've got the dreaded, the terrible Black Sunshine. We've got, I think this is an LBX Ares, which I did listen to Invictus on the other team saying that they are LBX Ares enjoyers, and he called it. And that's a Chevy of some sort with missiles. I don't know the vehicles that well. So with their garish camo, and that is another Raven. LBX Raven. Everybody has picked this thing, I think, in CBL List 2, which this is. Jufos and another LBX Ares, I think. And then it's the same Thunderbolt Goblin, too. The medium pulse laser Thunderbolt Goblin. You're seeing a lot of repeat at CBL List 2. I will give SyAN credit. They are switching, aside from this thing, which I very nearly convinced duelists to ban because everybody used to take it 3v3. It was such a good buy. There was almost no reason to not take it. Like, even if it's an underbuy, which it's still a huge underbuy. It's a gigantic fucking underbuy. This thing's like what, 32, and the lowest buy price they had was 44. So it's like an 11,500. Black Sunshine is. It's hard to kill, and it does insane DPS. They must see each other on radar. They're square. Oh, do they not see them? I don't think SyAN sees them, or if they do, they're trying. Probably, oh, these guys see them for sure. Invictus must see them. Yeah. And I think this is a good opening engagement. Krispy Kreme. Over here they've got the range. I think that, this thing is going... But they've got them pinned here, and these guys have pretty good anti-tank capabilities. They've got 2 LBXs on the Ares. These guys, I mean, they've got an LBX on the... It looks like they're trying to focus on Invictus. Sorry for my terrible camera work. And here comes the flank. These guys are in the low ground, and they're low little vehicles. Mechs can't see them. Oh, and I think that's Raccoon just blocked Bashar, I think, from getting in. There, he's probably telling them, like, go in, go in, go in. And they are heavily focusing Invictus first. The Sunshine is splitting off onto the Raven, which is a big threat to him because of the LBX. It's a threat to their whole team, really. I would probably prioritize the Raven and the Ares over the Goblin. And down goes the Raven. And down goes the Chevy. So this is an interesting fight. I don't know, I think Invictus is pretty beat up. He got the shit kicked out of him earlier. Yeah, there he goes. So it's down to Jufos. I don't know. Oh, they're ramming him. They're trying to knock him off so that he can't shoot. And it looks like it's kind of working. Oh, he's a right, though. Yeah, that's how it is with a tank. It's unlike a mech. You can't hide damage as easily. 2v1, it's practically impossible if they get around you like that. That's unfortunate. I want to see how close this was. I hope that was pretty close. It looked pretty close. I wouldn't have been too surprised if Jufos had killed at least one of them, if not 2 of them. Oh, the Ares is near. I would call that fresh. I would call that a disaster. But yeah, he almost had the Mithras. And in this matchup, I really think you need to hyper focus the Black Sunshine. As soon as you see the Black Sunshine, you must kill it. It does so much damage. And I think the Mithras, despite on paper having little armor, it doesn't feel like it has little armor to me. It feels pretty tanky when it's in motion. I don't know if it's a desync issue or if it's just my imagination, but that's how it feels to me. And I find even when I'm taking like armor counter picks, that thing takes forever to die. Anyway, so that's round 1 to SyAN bonus situation. Alright, here we are, back on Forsaken for round 2 of Krispy Kreme UrbanMechs versus SyAN bonus situation. And I'm going to record the intros and asset descriptions in post, and then I'll leave the rest for live commentary. And so for SyAN, we've got immediately a Black Sunshine, and I imagine this is Raven piloting it. I believe it's probably one of his favorite starter, early, cheap assets. And this is, I think, Raccoon in a Chimera. I don't know the Chimeras that well, and I didn't look up to see what this was, and off the top of my head I can't recall what this thing is when I saw it fight, but it has HMGs and medium lasers, which I hope are medium pulse lasers. That would be actually a pretty sick asset, a little bit. And then its missile launcher and whatever that cannon is on its right arm. And that's definitely a bully, which is, I believe, the Thanatos Delta, which has LBX 23 medium pulses and a bunch of SRMs. It is a close-range brawler mech if ever there was one. So we got another close-range brawl list from SyAN, and that's unsurprising at this point. And I'm going to go find Krispy Kreme, and I'm going to cut to live commentary, because I think my commentary for the rest of this one is pretty intelligible, and I like the live commentary. Huitzilopochtli, or however you pronounce it, that is a Senate. That is 8 UEC2s. I'm not sure what to take in that. I mean, you're going to get a lot of damage out of it, but I don't think the range advantage is going to do anything. But they didn't take the range advantage. They took it because it's relatively cool in terms of temperature on this hot map, and it does good damage. And Matt is in some sort of goblin, and Invictus is in, what is that, UEC5 or UEC2s? Are they stacking UEC2s? I don't know what this goblin is. I don't know the goblins. It almost looks like an HVAC because it's really long and it doesn't look AC-20 size. And they're coming pretty close. I expect them to see each other shortly here. Invictus. Oh, he's looking away. They might just pass right by each other. That would be a heartbreaker. Tanks. If this is a bully, which I think it is, then he has pretty good anti-tank. He's got an LBX-20. The Black Sunshine, okay, and it's on. Black Sunshine is going to be as great in this matchup because all tanks. And SyAN's team is splitting up, but able to isolate these two here. This is a chaotic fight here. I like Invictus's team here, but I just think that Senate just goes down too quick. I think that's GG right there. So now it's 3v1, and I don't think Matt can take 3 of them at once. And he's switching targets from Raven, or from whoever is in the Black Sunshine, to Thanatos and down. And that is match for SyAN bonus situation. Disappointing. I kind of wanted to see them go 3 rounds, but that's the way it is. And alright. Let's see how damaged they are. I imagine that Black Sunshine is probably going to have a side out, and the Thani is going to be beat up. The Thani, yeah, he spread damage too well. The Thanatos is very good at spreading damage if you let it. It's such a good tank. The Mithras, wow, it's not even got a side out. And yeah, that is incredibly a decisive result right there. That team is not fresh, but I mean that Chimera is fresh. And I'm switching back to post commentary here, and I was talking here. I can still hear fragments of what I was saying, and I remember what I was saying. I was saying I really didn't understand the Senate pick, or the stacking UAC2s. Like UAC2s are good, but they're good at range. If you can push the range out to like 800, or if you have terrain preventing the enemy team from closing the distance. Like they're a sniper weapon. They're a DPS, damage over time, sniper weapon. So I would have gone, I think honestly they would have done better if they had had like a Rack 2 Partisan there, just because the damage scales up the closer fights get. And because a lot of these 3v3s, these medium range fights have a tendency to collapse and devolve into a point blank brawl. That's just the nature of them. If there's nothing stopping people from coming, then they're just going to come up to you and fight. And Bashar's team, SyAN bonus situation here, in my opinion, through like my knowledge of them and Bashar and his teams in the past, they prefer brawling. So you kind of have to expect that they're going to want to brawl with you, and you need to prepare for it. And you absolutely cannot force a long-range fight on Forsaken, because I mean, look at this map. You can't see very far. I think on a good sight line, you can see like 500-600 meters maximum, and the UAC is at its best when you're fighting at like 1,000, and you're just not going to get that damage. They're just going to close up and out DPS you, and that's what happened. What was with the Senate pick then?
It was trolling, kind of. I'm kind of done after the Carbon match, so
okay.
I'm just kind of phoning it in.
I kind of feel like 2 matches in a day is the limit, because people start to go over it and are like, I don't even give a fuck.
I think part of the problem is just the wait time with the teams being a bit odd right now.
Yeah,
you wait forever to play, and then you do get the play, and then Carbon happens.
I mean, we're almost at like 4 hours, so I'm playing.
Ooh, we got a good one. All right, it is map 4, New Avalon, Siebel set 7.
Oh.
Channel switched.
All right, we got a good one. It is map 4, New Avalon, and Siebel set 7.
Battle LT it is.
Indeed.
All right, and it is going to be the last match of the night, I believe. I think most teams are getting pretty exhausted. And we have Krispy Kreme UrbanMechs versus... I forgot who they were fighting for a moment. I couldn't remember the name of their group. Haunted Dropship. I remembered as soon as I saw Ghosty's name. And it looks like Krispy Kreme, oh man, they might be knocking this out quick. Matt has to go shortly, so they've got some extra initiative to going. Oh, maybe they're not going Og yet. But they have some thick tanks here. They rolled we rolled the Seville set randomly, and they rolled the highest bracket. So we've got 2 behemoths and a long tom, and this is a Sheila behemoth. This is a disgusting artillery behemoth. This thing will fuck up just about any mech in quite short order in open line of sight. And this has what looks like a Gauss, 2 large lasers, 3 large lasers. I don't know the behemoths very well, as you can tell. I don't know tanks very well. And some sort of missile launcher. And then the long tom is a fucking long tom. This thing will make or break games. This probably their list is going to come down to. I haven't seen the enemy team's list yet, but their team might come down to how many hits Jufos can get before they can get within his. If you take like bubbles with all the racks to defeat the armor, it gets eaten by the long tom. The long tom will just eat it alive before it can. Well, not before it can get damage in. It will still do some pretty nasty damage, but it will kill it because it can't really dodge. But neither can Mars tank, so the other team, I'm taking 3 IS heavy tanks, or, you know, long tom, it's not a heavy tank, but 2 IS behemoths, and here on, ironically, the IS team, we've got 2 clan assault tanks. We've got 2 Marses, and I believe this one is the sniper Mars, so we are going to see a nice artillery duel. This should be pretty fucking interesting to watch. I hope this is. I really want to see a nice big turret match right about now. Oh, and Deimos gets stuck right out. And fog, it looks like. It's gonna be a little bit. There was a Krispy Kreme versus, I don't know, J-Word on Carbon, and I think they should have pulled the Carbon assaults, and they just walked around for 20 minutes, didn't find each other. There's too many walls on Carbon, too hard to find each other. I think we should have pulled that from the list, and I think I'm going to argue that we wait to see them. I think that gives a pretty heavy advantage to Krispy. I think these guys are gonna have a hard time. It's more time. And maybe both teams are going to sit at their base waiting for the other team to advance into them. I will cry if that happens. They better not do that. Do not want to move. The long tom gets stuck on everything. If you desync with the long tom, it gets really hard to drive uphill. It loses all traction and starts to slip and slide. Yeah, they're like, this is about as fast as these guys can move, so I'll give them some slack. I think they've got the better list. This is a very nice Mars, though. This is a very nice pick, and it's kind of counterpick is more artillery, and Sniper Mars, as people will know, Sniper Mars is not to be scoffed at, especially when you can't dodge it because you're in a behemoth. Are going to find each other on radar and start lobbing shells at one another. I actually don't know the Sniper Mars very well in terms of what equipment it gets, but the Long Tom gets Geckum and BHP, so it has a super long-range radar. You also have I would be shocked if he has his radar on. He should. And with call-outs from Hamster and Ghosty. Let's see, what Atlas is this? Can I identify this Atlas? Oh, is this a Master and Commander? That would actually be an interesting. Is it? I'm so bad. I'm gonna be embarrassed to upload this. I think that's a Master and Commander, which is an interesting buy because he's got narcs and LRMs. So he is kind of like a second artillery piece, but he's also the spotter. He can actually, I think he has BHP and Gecko. Oh, here it comes. Ghosty takes a hit. See them. Daimo should absolutely see them, and that long is. And there is the Sniper Mars. Oh. And Jufos back here. Getting pretty close to the Mars. He might have hit him. It's hard to tell with the terrain there. And Invictus putting hate onto the Sniper Mars. I don't know why the Sniper Mars is going up like this. Like, I think, oh, that Long Tom will... He's like min-range at the Long Tom. The Long Tom can arc a little bit. He's suffering some pretty heavy damage. He needs to turn, shows other side. Just can't turn its side. Up there in his face, and I crashed, so... Not over yet. Jufos. So, Ghosty is direct fire. Oh, but Jufos sees him, and Jufos has indirect fire. If Ghosty can get up to him, I think... Ghosty is weak. Up into him. If Jufos gets up on this hill, though, and angles down, then he can shoot down. The problem is the mech at point blank. But it's going to have a hard time shooting a tank, but no, he's found a good spot here. He can absolutely shoot the ground. I'm not sure what Ghosty is shooting the tree there for. And... Oh, yeah, Ghosty's gonna take heavy attrition. If he doesn't... I think he can't push. I think this might be game. And Jufos knows it. If I were Jufos, I would go forward and angle down a little bit more. Yeah, it looks like what he's going... That's what he's... Oh, and Ghosty might be stuck. Oh. Oh, he's unstuck. He used the suspension kick. I think Ghosty is desyncing right now. This is what I'm talking about, where you lose traction. You have a hard time going uphill, you slide. Okay, he's gone. He's got traction. Yeah, he's in such dire positioning right here. I don't even know what you would do as Ghosty here. I think maybe I would fight and run away. But Jufo can see him on radar, so he can't even do that. The problem, when you go through the turret of the Long Tom, the gun, it takes absolutely forever to kill. In pubs, I never shoot the turret of the Long Tom unless it's already burning, and even then I hesitate. It just takes so long to kill it. Always, in my opinion, you should be going through the sides. I think that even if you burn out one side and he shows you the other side, I still think terrible luck going through the turrets on these things. But Jufos repositioning, and we're having a little positioning match here. I don't know how much damage Jufos has taken. I don't think he took anything before I crashed. That probably didn't do much damage. And here Ghosty's finally getting some damage in, and he's gonna fall back and wait for him to waste a shot, and oh, Ghosty's gonna get some good damage in here. That's what this fire is, or it's very low. But like I said, it's very, very hard to get the damage in. If I were Ghosty and I were peeking, I would not even wait for the lock on those ATMs. I would just look at the turret and pull the trigger and keep it on while they fire, because they'll track to whatever your cursor was under when you pulled the trigger when you have your radar off or when they fire without a lock. And I think just to avoid a line of sight if he wants to peek. So this is an interesting. Is out. Yeah, his turret is out. So Ghost probably one shot. I bet you one direct hit will finish Ghosty. And yeah, look at this. This what I don't want to see, but Ghosty's in a. In my opinion, I think this little spur right here, and I think it would splash Ghosty for nearly the entire damage of the shell. Let's see if he tries it. Jufos could be low on ammo too. I don't know how much he's fired, but the Long Tom, since ammo's free in this tournament, the Long Tom is a fair bit of ammo. And Ghosty almost looks like he doesn't know where Jufos is. Like he's zeroing in on Jufos' last known position, but Jufos isn't there anymore. So I'm not entirely certain what he's doing. Radar active. Very powerful radar. He can see Ghosty, but Ghosty can't see him. And shame I crashed. See the rest of that brawl. But it was a lot closer than I thought it was. Which is nice. Next one in. Ghosty, did you turn your radar off at the end there when you were going up the hill?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Did you see that he had repositioned down the hill?
I hadn't quite realised his long tom had moved that quickly down there, and I was trying to focus on not getting the mast stuck a bit too much.
Yeah.
It was really close, though. It was that was a very fun game.
Oh, what was, I need to go see what his turret was at. His turret was
out.
Yeah,
internal,
what his internals were.
internals were 22.
And, oh my god, that is close. That's hard.
There would have been one burst on the hex. 30s.
But then again, if I had peeked that same hill again, I would have died regardless before getting a chance. Just since be zeroed in.
Yeah,
that's good.
Could have been a if you had instead gained distance, so you were outside of this BAP range.
We're here on Jungle on round 2 of Krispy Kreme versus Haunted Dropship. And Krispy Kreme, it looks like they're running, I think I know all these. That's a Badger. That is a UAC 20 Kit Fox. This armor right here is prime target in any brawl. This looks to be the HMG Locust 2C with ATM HE3s. And that is, I forget the name of this thing, it's new, it's not called the Partisan, I don't think, but it's an AC-20 Hollander 2 with some SRMs and small laser. Okay, that's an Osiris D. This is one of my favorite starters here. The 2 Rack 2s and 3 machine guns. Those 2 Rack 2s will absolutely shred tanks at close range. That is not the same goblin we keep seeing. I think the light PPC goblin. And Ghosty is in. If this is the same AC-10 Chimera, and I've just gone crazy because I'm tired because I'm casting and recording all day, then I don't know what that is off the top of my head. I think it's the AC-10 Chimera. I'm probably wrong. And the small team game map, and I think Mad Matt sees them. Oh, he doesn't. Looked away. Shortly here, and yeah, Dropship sees them. And they have the advantage. And they're opening up, and I really don't like this movement from Dropship initially. They're going to close the distance, and I think that's a big mistake with the list that's running, and Ghosty is really separated here. And he's going to get focused And that does look to be the AC-10 Chimera. But it's not going to do enough damage, I don't think, and oh, it's spreading, so maybe he is getting good damage. They're both shooting screen shake weapons at each other. But over here, Jufos, he's lost his Fiddler Crab arm, and they're ignoring him, and I think that might be the right play, is they're going to go for Invictus, who has the next scariest weapon, but I don't think he does. Oh, yes, he does. He absolutely does. Yeah, I think Dropship has a good plan here. Ignore the Kit Fox with its small lasers, and now focus Mad Matt, who's got the next most dangerous arsenal, which is 6 HMGs, which is going to do a lot of damage to the tank. The tank takes extra damage from HMGs, I believe, and then 3 ATM HEs, which is good supplemental damage. It's going to do that much on its own besides screen shake. Mad Matt feels his death coming. He just tried to jump away and got caught in the Coliseum ruins here. And Jufos crashed, I think. Oh, that's heartbreaking. That's the second crash I've seen today. At least he crashed after he lost to the arm. Crashed before that, I would have rage quit the whole tournament if that had happened. So let's see. Yeah, the Goblin's pretty beat up, but his internals are okay. And
user joined your channel.
Osiris is 50% left torso, 62 center, and 71 right. And otherwise, he's fine. So that was pretty decisive in favor of Dropship. I don't know much UFO's crashing, but he crashed after he lost his UAC-20 arm, so I don't think he would have carried that. Alright, we're gonna probably roll our next maps. Yeah, that's not too surprising results. I think Haunted, especially Hamster, probably got, yeah, Hamster's top 13 on damage score, probably. This, you cannot ignore the close range. I think for Krispy Kreme, they should have absolutely focused Hamster in the Osiris D. It does way too much damage. But I understand why they went after the Chimera. It typically goes down quickly. But it's the Hollander. The Hollanders are not tanks by any stretch of the imagination. They're a gun on legs. Alright, in Game 3, we finally got a Game 3. Thank God. I think some of the other games went to a Game 3. I heard one went to a Game 4. I don't even know how that's possible. I think it was that new Avalon one with J-Word and this team and Krispy Kreme. But I don't know how that happened. I'll have to ask Duelist about that later. But here we are back at Forsaken. Another popular map this time. I didn't see any Hell's Gate this entire tournament, which I like Hell's Gate. But we've got some pretty scary mechs here. We've got the Flamer SRM Black Lantern. This thing shits out damage with SRMs. This thing does such insane burst damage, and then it's got flamers, and this is a hot map, so those flamers may indeed come into play. This is, I can't even see what kind of, what is this? Oh, this is the Snub-Nosed Thumper Marauder, which is another interesting pick. So he's got a big thumper cannon up here that he can fire. It has a heavy drop, but it does pretty sick damage when it hits. It spreads all over your mech. It does good splash damage. And this is a Mad Cat G. Mad Cat Golf, or Timberwolf Golf, whatever you want to call it. This thing absolutely fucks if you ignore it. So he's got 2 heavy mediums, 2, I think, small pulses? I don't know. I can't recall. But then he's got the LBX-20, which is the real scary thing. 2 LBX 10s, I think, or 5s? I think it's 5s. 10 sounds insane to me. I take this thing all the time. I can't even fucking. It's got a missile launcher for some more close hatred. And Jufos is falling asleep, absolutely exhausted. Exhausted. Do 2 matches a day, and I'm like, I think you're crazy. Especially because half the matches only go 2 fucking rounds. Like, it's not that long, in my opinion. Although I'm not playing, and to be fair, I hate fighting 3v3s, and I guess I can understand that. So Ghosty has picked an interesting mech for this. He has picked a Stormcrow Prime. Stormcrow Prime, this reminds me of like the old meta. The old meta before heatsink changes on hot maps was actually to take hot mechs, because logically hot mechs have more heat sinks attached because they have to, and the heat sinks fight the environmental heat better. But heat sinks changed a bit, and environmental heat has a bit more impact, and I find this is just not the case anymore. It's not the meta anymore. It used to be the meta. Now it's not the meta. This is still a decent pick for this map, but the Stormcrow Prime is an excellent pub. Excellent pub mech, but in 3v3s, you really need the right engagement to get the value of it, and I don't think Forsaken is it. And then you've got 2 Atlases, which I like more. These can be fucking scary. If
User joined your channel.
And that is a UAC Atlas, and they're fucking ready. Wow, that's a very good fight. And then it's the AC-10 Atlas as well. So they're going to go right for it, and Haunted is coming out, and they're spreading damage. Each of them are on a different target. And it looks like it's much the same for Krispy Kreme. Okay, Ghosty is trying to get Invictus. He's switched it. Everyone is on target. This is chaotic. This is insane. This is basically damage versus armor, and down goes the Mad Cat Golf, which was some of their highest DPS, and yeah, Hamster is probably going to go down because the Black Lantern is just shitting fire and SRMs on him. Alright, this is an interesting one, and Invictus, if he keeps that Flamer on Ghosty, he can basically... Ghosty's way too hot to be firing with a Flamer on him, and Mad Mad's torso just went out, so he is not long for this world if he keeps getting shot. Ghosty is twisting hard. He does not want to die, so I think everyone here except maybe Deimos is weak. So it's just Invictus left. And match to Haunted. That was an interesting one. That was a chaotic brawl. That was a sick brawl, though. I'm glad we finish this with Matt still playing because it's late for him, and Juf probably asleep at the wheel at this point. He's I think every time I've spoken to Invictus tonight, he said like, yeah, Jufus is asleep or something. And that, I think, is the last match of this tournament. We may another date, I think, do a championship round. But probably not today. Everyone's exhausted. It's gone on too long, and we may not even do that. But if we don't do that, I was satisfied with this, and I hope this one went well for everybody else too. People actually playing it.
He's at 27 CT, and the Ryo was at 2.
Was that what?
At 2. Yeah, he was busy bouncing back and forth between all of them.
Well, they were all bouncing back and forth. That was a crazy brawl. That was cool, but it was crazy. I'm going to go into the other channel, see what people are saying. Jules forgot about me.
Channel
so,
switched.
Basically just figuring out scheduling. I'm comfortable either way.